Yo, 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 what's up? What's up? Welcome to another episode of Friday Night WrestleCast. This is for Fyter Fest Night 2, July 8th. I am your host, Adam Vale, and tonight I am joined by Richard Bailey Jr.
What's up, listeners and viewers?
and Ricardo.
How's it going, everyone? Have a happy, healthy, safe 4th of July.
There you go. And Sister Dana. I'm bringing it back. Dana.
I'm muted. Yay.
You see, nice. There you go. There you go. Got me nervous. I was like, oh, we're going to have the last week issue here. Uh-oh. All right, cool. So we are all here. I hope everybody listening had fun with all the wrestling action that we saw on Wednesday between AEW doing their Fyter Fest Night 1 and Great American Bash, NXT. It was a lot of wrestling. And this, I still don't consider this a feud, like a rating war to WCW, WWE back in the days, because in my opinion, they're both underperforming in that area. So, yeah, not in quality. People are like, what the hell? Down votes right now. Down votes. No, not in the quality. I agree. Quality is up on both. But when it comes to overall viewers, both shows are not hitting 1 million views yet. And
Well, hold on.
yeah, it's been a while. I think AEW did that during their first week when they were around, but after that, it's never hit that number. And NXT, same thing. It's been a while for them.
Well, they had like 4 million when they first.
That's what I'm saying. Early on, but it hasn't hit those numbers ever since. And
Well, hey,
it's
you need to make sure you tell Chris Jericho this argument.
Chris Jericho, he's gonna do what he's got to do to promote his product. So no, I'm not gonna throw any shade on him. It's business. It's all business. You're gonna make you make anything you have smell like roses. So I get it, but overall, viewership for wrestling is down, and I don't think it has anything to do with the performers. Performance is fine. We love it. We love the products. They're both busting their ass and giving us quality matches. It's none of that old school WCW bullshit. NWO coming in and just doing squash after squash after squash match. No, this is the quality matches. It's just wrestling fans. Where are they? I don't know. Maybe they all aged out. Maybe they moved on. No one's watching. And shit, with the issues we currently have in the world where people are indoors most of the time, I really thought that this would be the time that people would be jumping into wrestling again. They were like, you know what? I need something to watch. I'm tired of all the shit I've seen on Netflix and stuff. I finished, Mandalorian. Let's go into some wrestling. Let's bring it back. Let's go back. But no, that's not the case. That is not the case because no one's hitting big numbers. So
It's a
yes,
different time.
it's a different. Exactly. You're right. You're right. I agree. Yeah.
20 years ago, whatever, when the Attitude Era was around, you didn't have Netflix, you didn't have YouTube,
Thank
you didn't
you.
have all these different
Thank
ways
you.
to get entertained. You didn't have the opportunity to watch it the next day on Hulu or on a WWE network or anything like that. If you wanted to watch wrestling, you had to tune in that night or have your VCR ready at the very least.
You know
These are
what?
different times.
But then that hurts because then that means these people weren't real wrestling fans. They
Oh,
were all,
whoa!
that means they were all casuals. They just tuned in because they had nothing better to watch. Now they have something better to watch, and they're not watching anymore. That's what that tells me, and that's disappointing because then it really throws us back to the carny life.
Well,
It's
that
like,
was
oh, it's a novelty. You watch the wrestling, and it's like, shoot, who watches that? Well, obviously, not a lot of people. So you're right. Who is watching this?
it's one aspect of it though, because
Yeah.
you have to remember that the Attitude Era, in WCW's peak, they pushed the envelope a lot more than what we see with WWE and AEW these days. At least that's how I feel.
Well, you could go with that, but then we saw that Moxley Kenny Omega bloodfest that they tried to pull a few months back, and people were walking out of the arena. No one even cared. There was no real interest in seeing that. And when the reviews came in, that was like the most downvoted match of the night. People were like, yo, I did not like this match. It just didn't do it. And back in the day, in that Attitude Era, those type of matches were all the praise.
Yeah,
People wanted to see Edge and Christian versus Mick Foley and Terry Funk. That was nuts. Barbed wire battles. Those are the ones that were getting the praise. That's not the case now. Now it's like, no, we're done. We're done with that.
Well, see, that's only because we know of the CTE and all of the different injuries, so we shy away from that.
Oh, you think people are woke now? You think they didn't notice that shit was happening then? I think we knew.
People was not as aware of the damage that it causes. That's why, for example, remember when Shawn Spears hit Cody with the chair shot and busted him open, and the visceral backlash that occurred from the fans?
Yeah.
You take that exact same moment and put it in the 90s, and we would be like, yay. Now, no.
I agree with that. That's true.
Everyone was getting hit with the chairs, and we knew that it hurt like hell.
But I'll tell you this much. I think a lot of people, and this is definitely before Behind the Mat released that documentary, I think a lot of people thought those chairs were gimmicked. I think that was the issue, because people always said, oh, well, wrestling's fake stuff. There's no way they would really hurt themselves. Look at those tables they're going through. Those aren't the real tables. These are like rinky-dink tables that break if you put too much pressure. And we've seen it. Remember when sometimes people try to stand on them and stuff, they would just collapse. So you couldn't even do that. So I think a lot of people thought that the chairs were also gimmicked. And then when you find out, wait a minute, no, these are just your typical folding chairs. And it's all about the proper way to hit and the contact that it makes. And if it hits that upper lip, that back piece, that'll cut you. That sharp piece of metal there, and that's what happened with Cody, where it went across his head, and it just sliced him up like a razor. So, well, there goes the rant. Thanks for listening. Peace out, everybody. We hope you enjoyed this. All right, so now we're going to get into, as you know, the new format. We got 3 big topics. We want to share the news because it's just too much wrestling news. So we just got 3 big ones to hold you guys over, and you can go find the dirt sheet stuff. Dana's going to spit that off, and then we will jump into the predictions for the Fyter Fest Night 2. All right, Dana.
Sorry, Dana. Can I make one point before we continue with that? Sure. I wanted to just say before we continue with that, the turning point of all that with people being like more sensitive to the violence is the Chris Benoit incident. Is that once that happened and you saw that the brain damage, resulted in all that, it's like, okay, now we need to avoid chair shots and head bumps and all that stuff.
That was the first time, aside from that Stossel guy, that was the first time the media really paid attention to wrestling.
Well, that's a major murder. That was horrible.
Yeah,
if something like that happened. They love they love drama. The media, it's like that for everything.
But that's when we started really discovering CTE and what was that about. So, there you go.
All right. So Dana, here we go. Back to you.
Okay, so WWE has reportedly purchased Evolved. I know that you're excited for this, Adam.
I am. Why you? What's the snickering, Rich? Look at this. He was just waiting for it. Like, it's like, I don't get it. What's so funny about that? It's a good product. They had most of the talent that we see now is from there.
And they gave us a whole documentary about it.
Yeah.
That no one watched because it was on the network, and no one has.
Let me just make a quick comment. The reason I laugh is because when I think about the idea that WWE can evolve, that to me is a joke.
Well,
because when you still have people like Randy Orton and Big Show as the catalyst for Monday Night Raw, that's a laughable.
Well, all right. But Randy Orton can still go. Randy Orton's still quality. He's pulling. Big Show, no, I don't think so. Not so much.
And Ric Flair too. Let's add him.
He's just a pulling. He's just trying to get in what we were just talking about at the opening of the show. Those casuals that want to see Ric Flair and be like, "Wow, he's still alive. Let me see that."
During a pandemic, we want to keep him alive.
So I think that's the reason why they bring those names in. But Randy Orton, he can still go. We liked the Edge match that he had. Those 2 matches. He's not washed up. So I have no problem with Edge still being a main player. But I agree they should let some of the other guys shine. So
now you can watch all the shine on the WWE network. Because
did they say when it's coming or no? They just said that they purchased it.
If you let me kind of like evolve the sentence.
Damn! Look at this. Cutthroat.
WWE will have the complete rights to use the Evolve brand name and produce Evolve events going forward. whether as live events with obviously no fans, or WWE Network programming with no viewers. There is no word whether we'll ever see an Evolve event again, but certainly there will be an Evolve WWN content added to the WWE Network somewhere down the line. So for those who don't know, Evolve was founded in 2010. It ran 146 events through, it was like a huge pipeline.
It was a former WWE employee that created that too. He was one of the writers.
Yep, that was very true. But it had people like Apollo Crews that you like, Austin Theory, Brody Lee was from there, John Moxley, Drew Gulak, Keith Lee, Johnny Gargano, he was there.
Yep.
Matt
Profits
from there.
Yep, the Street Profits, Darby Allin, Sabu, Ricochet wrestled there for a little bit, yeah.
TJ Perkins.
Yep, TJ Perkins, yeah.
So, it's going to have a lot of, talent that we've all known. So these are going to be like the wrestlers back in the day when like Ricochet had the long hair. So what they're saying is that this is something that should have happened a while ago. Remember, Evolve kind of they couldn't really keep the doors open because of the whole pandemic thing.
Well, even before that, I thought that they were going to partner up with the network for two reasons. One, when we saw that special, remember when they did that pay-per-view special on the network, and then two, when WWE was sending out those survey emails talking about other promotions would you like to see? Which ones would you like to see on the network? And Evolve was one of them. So I was like, all right, well they're hinting that it's a possibility, and now they're asking if we were interested in seeing more of it.
They also had TNA. Remember that one?
Yeah, but they also did try to get that tape collection, and that didn't work out. But they did try. That's a fact. We know. And they also tried to get Ring of Honor to jump on it too, and that didn't work.
So, along with the sale, we will get Evolve and Dragon Gate USA Library.
Okay.
WWN Live, however, is not part of the purchase and will continue on separately. And that we will see some Evolve talent be signed to WWE NXT either later this year or next year, so they can be abandoned and not used again.
So they're not going to use Evolve as its own promotion again. They're not going to have. So it's not going to be WWE proper and then NXT and Evolve. It's just they're just killing it off and just keeping the tapes.
Essentially.
All right. So, I guess it makes sense because not a lot of people knew about it. Unless you really kept your ear to the indies scene, then you didn't really know.
Or if you watched the documentary, they have.
That's still keeping into that whole world. If you care, if you don't care, it's like, for example, I know a lot of people that knew about ECW that never watched ECW. They were like, "Well, I heard about it. That's where they have the violent stuff." Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, because it was out there. It made itself known. Evolve did not have that. It didn't have that buzz outside of the wrestling world.
Well, it was great back then.
Yeah. All right, so what else you got?
So, if you've watched SmackDown or any of Raw for this week, you would have noticed a little bit of difference. People are wearing masks.
I love, again, with the laughing. Why do you find all the things that tickle your brain? I don't get it. What are you shocked by it? Is it a happy laugh or is it?
That's a healthy sense of humor. He always has.
I guess I'm trying to. Figure it
listen. We are in the midst of a very unprecedented times. So I have to laugh because of the stupidity of the decisions that WWE has made. Because they know damn well they should have did a hell of a lot better addressing this situation in the beginning. And this is a response now because others have gotten sick. So I have to laugh at how stupid they are, but really, I'm angry at them. So, but continue. I don't want to cut Dana off.
Well, I'm used to being cut off.
But wait, what do you?
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No. Okay, so for those who somehow don't know this whole disaster, over 24 members of WWE personnel, either in-ring talent, producers, wrestlers, the announcers, they ended up with COVID. We know of 4. And WWE went on like this PR rampage, don't say anything, keep it all internal. AEW is basically blasting them every week. But here's the thing. They want to save face and be like, look, we care about you guys. So they are enforcing a new coronavirus mask policy. And this time it comes with a fine. So they informed their talent on Friday afternoon about this new protective mask policy, which basically says anyone who is working on television tapings, excluding performers who are working on camera. So if you're behind the stage, you have to wear a mask. If it's not your match, you have to wear a mask. If you're behind the plexiglass that somehow will save you, you have to wear your mask. If you do not wear your mask at all times, you will risk a $500 fine. And the penalty will increase to $1,000 afterwards for anyone with a second offense. So, yay.
Can I ask a quick question?
You can ask all the questions.
Do it.
I don't want to go off topic here, but I just want to ask. So why is, and this is probably a stupid question to ask, but I think it makes sense. Why don't the people who are wrestling in the match have to wear masks? Because you're breathing, you're in close contact to the other person you're wrestling. Why is there not a policy about having to wear a mask in that situation?
That won't work. You can't wear anything on your face. You can't. It just, no. There's no way. There's no way. There is no way. Think about it. With all the heavy breathing and the movement around, it's the last thing. It will definitely come off. If you try to do a headlock and do those things, it's going to slip off. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not practical, and obviously they're concerned about the aesthetic of it as well. Yeah. Like it'll be like if you're seeing these wrestlers in masks, the first thing you can think of as a viewer is, why are they wrestling?
Exactly. Then they shouldn't even be. Now, can the ref wear a mask, or he doesn't have to wear a mask?
No, well, the ref. I haven't seen no ref with a mask.
No, I know, but now, because that's the thing, people don't understand. If they go back and they watch old Japanese death matches, the ref that was in the match had gloves and a mask on. So that's nothing new to wrestling. When it comes, at least in Japan, when it comes to a ref wearing a mask and gloves.
Probably so they don't ingest any blood in their mouth.
Yeah. And especially, and I think it was also in CZW, whenever they had death matches, because they use those fluorescent lights. And when you start smashing that shit gets in the air. And
So let me just say this real quick, because I believe you mentioned blood. The reason I asked is because, obviously, this week on Raw, you had a confrontation with Bobby Lashley, Cedric the Alexander, and Ricochet. And after he beat up Ricochet, obviously, because Ricochet is the jobber on Raw now, one of many jobbers, he had a confrontation with Cedric Alexander. And you could see after that confrontation, Bobby Lashley had blood all over his chest. When I saw that, I thought, I don't think that's a necessarily good situation to be in with what's going on now with people getting sick. So I would hope they are concerned about this stuff, because when I saw that, I was like, I don't know about that, man.
Well, that comes with it, though. That's always been there. That the blood and stuff, that's always been a risk for everything. Hepatitis, there's all kinds of other things you can get, even now. But even before, if there was no COVID issue, these things still exist. But it's contact, whether it's scripted or not. It's still, and I'm sure that if that is official blood, if it was an accident. Accidents will happen. On
the topic of the WWE personnel being told not to say anything about these infections, there was Kayla Braxton who notified everyone on Twitter that she had been infected twice.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa!
This is her second go around with it.
And I think that she got heat for that, but it was an important message for her to put out there, because she got it the first time. And then probably thought, okay, well, now that I've got it, I'm kind of immune to this, so I can go out to the beach and go to the bar and hang out. And she admitted herself that she felt dumb for being so careless, and that she got it a second time. So that was kind of like a warning to everyone.
And I don't understand that logic either, because as anyone, everyone here has caught a cold at some point. You're still vulnerable to catch it again. Just because you catch cold, they'll be like, hey, you're good for the rest of the year. Congrats. No, it never worked that way. Your immune system is still weak. You're still prone to getting it again. So they tell you, hey, take some meds, build up your immune system, and try to keep it as high as you can, because you're always prone to catching a cold again. So that was weird. But yeah, this whole thing, it's complicated. But I think that at least with Vince, his mindset in regards to the match was out of sight, out of mind for the viewers, because he keeps saying, I'm doing this for the viewers, I'm doing the entertainment, and I believe him. I believe he's genuine with that. Yes, because it is business, and he is providing an alternate world of these mega muscly guys kicking each other's asses for your entertainment. And if that's the logic, then yes, he's throwing us into this fictional world, and in that fictional world, there is no virus. There is nothing. You were just engulfed in this. What's happening in the real world is in the real world. So if you're thinking with that logic, no mask, because seeing the mask could trigger that memory of like, wow, that's right. Shit is really bad out there. There's a lot of horrible things happening. And I think that's what he was trying to avoid. So it wasn't so much of not caring, but it's more of like, don't want to show it because I don't want a distraction, which is why they never talk about it on the show. They never acknowledge it. Remember? They were like, oh, due to current events. They never said because of the virus. They never said any of that stuff. They never point out why certain wrestlers are staying home. They still haven't said why Roman Reigns is there. We know why. He said it, but they never acknowledged it. And I think it's because he's trying to keep it more of like, let's stay in our TV fake bubble. Don't bring the real world into it. But it's unavoidable at this point. And I personally would like to see the mask full time. I love my mask. My daughter's making me a camouflage one now. I plan on never showing my face in public ever again. I don't want people to see me. Like, that's the other thing. Be like, oh, well, wearing a mask and hinders and other. I don't care. I wear a hood. I wear a hat. I look like I'm in the division. That is cool with me. That is cool with me. And if I could, even when we come up with a vaccine, I will continue to wear my mask. Because I like the fact of being incognito. No one knows who I am. I change my hoodies all the time when I want. I don't want anyone to know. Anyone to know who I am. See me walk into the store. I love the fact that no one is questioning who's under the mask because no one cares. And I love it. I love it. All right.
I disagree.
All right. That's good. It's okay. Now, what's the first?
Wear a mask, you look suspicious. And now if you look suspicious if you don't wear a mask.
See, there you go.
No, here's where I disagree with you at. That it has nothing to do with out of sight, out of mind. Well, partially that. I don't think that we all know they're not taking it seriously, which is why they have over 24 cases. But I think it's more to do with, there was a quote in a book. It's called Body Slams, Memoirs of a Wrestling Pitchman by Gary Michael Capetta. And it says, Shane McMahon was asked, what is the most important lesson your father has taught you? And Shane said, don't let your workers know how important they are so you can get the most out of them for the least amount of money.
That's in every business.
Wow.
That is every business. But if you look at the business model of WWE and how they handled this whole situation, it wasn't even the fact that, there's no mask. There was no testing until, 2-3 weeks ago?
Yep.
Until there was an actual outbreak. And then also remember, you have the fans who were actual people who got infected as well. Those were regular non-wrestlers. And, you can eventually, I'm pretty sure, find a loophole somewhere and sue them. Sue WWE.
I don't know if they can sue for that. Maybe. I'm sure they'll find some way, but I don't know if it's possible.
Or you can sue for anything.
Because I know, but when it comes to going into those events, because I remember there was an issue where a fan, when a wrestler got thrown into the guardrail and the guardrail bent in and it hit the fan's leg and it caused some damage and they tried to sue. And it was like, no, that's listed on the fine print of when you purchase a ticket. When you go to buy a ticket for any of these events, it's a long little elu that they have at the bottom. Hey, you can't do this, isn't that? Whatever happened, we have the right to kick you out regardless of anything, blah, blah, blah. There's a whole list, but no one gives a shit. No one reads it. They click yes, and they purchase that ticket. So that's always used, and that person did not get anything. Because it was like, hey, this is it. You was front row. These things happen. Sorry.
I was gonna say that when Street Profits went behind the fiberglass and everything, and were doing their entrance with the crowd, I was like, "What are you guys doing?"
That defeats the purpose of the fiberglass. There you go. So what do you break in the wall? No, you can't do that. Whatever. It's
around dancing with them, so
it's sad, but hopefully they learn a lesson, and then we can move on from it, and no one else gets sick, and they can control it. That's wishful thinking, because it's a live show, and as we saw with SmackDown, blood and things like that happen, accidents happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then there's some people that can test negative and it's still positive. That's out of their hands. False tests happen all the time. I know 2 people false tests.
Well, that's how Renee Young, her test, she did a private test, in-home test.
Let's see.
And she got positive. That's how she got her results. It wasn't even through a WWE test, because remember, no one was testing.
Yeah. But I think she said her reason for it is because she had some of the symptoms. Some of them, she said she didn't have the taste buds, and she lost sense of smell. And she just started getting those signs that she was like, you know what? I think I got this. So...
I'm going to a little personal thing here, but my uncle that passed away a little while ago from coronavirus, he was sick, and he originally tested negative, but then a couple days later came out positive. So that's one of those things that it can change at the drop of a hat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep, this sucks, but let's hope for the best for the product and for the business. I'm sure it'll be a whole other special if we ever talk about it, but man, what would life be like if there was no WWE? If they just folded, if they just said, you know what, we're selling this, we're done. They sell their tape collection to ESPN. They do the whole memory lane throwback shit like what we saw with WCW. And that's it. They cash in their chips. What would that world be like?
That would be fine, just like how WCW.
No. WCW did not have... They would not be fine. WCW did not have the legacy that WWE has. Or the roster size. This is ridiculous.
Rude. If WWE could not survive, the entire wrestling industry would be screwed, flat out.
That's it. Done.
I think if WCW was the only wrestling company, then, we would still move on, and they would go to New Japan or Mexico or some other region and live their best lives.
I don't think you see it. It would never, the wrestling business would never recover. They would never be the same because it would be seen as it's not a real product to make money. For any of these companies, they would never put any investment. There would be no more big multi-billion-dollar deals like we saw with the Fox. Because we're like, for what? If WWE couldn't sustain and keep this alive, what makes you and your up-and-coming promotion so different? They've been in the business for decades.
Well, thank you.
I thought you guys were AEW fans.
You could be a fan of wrestling in general. I'm a fan of everything. AEW, I hope it strives, but we all agree it's not on that level when it comes to just the marketing and the expanse and the level that WWE is with all the different promotions and outside. They don't even tour outside of the U.S. yet. They still haven't gotten to that point. When they have, and it doesn't matter. The truth is, when AEW gets the size of a roster that WWE has, which is too big, over 200 wrestlers, that's the problem. That's when AEW is going to fall apart. I hope they stay small. Because once you do that, what happens? There's always going to be people that step to the bottom of the barrel. Those are the ones that get disgruntled. Those are the ones that are going to show up on all the dirt sheets talking about all the shit that's happening backstage, and Cody's always putting us down. Blah, blah. They're going to come up with their own shit. It's always, because you can't make everybody happy. When it's small, yes, because then everybody gets TV time. The more wrestlers you get, the more you have guys sitting in the back, like in WWE, twiddling their thumbs or working out and not doing anything. We're hearing all about that, and that's because they have too much. They have too much talent. They have not enough TV time, And when they do have TV time, they focus on these storylines that people don't care about, like the Lana, the divorce, and all that stuff. So that scandal that took up so much TV time that we could have had 2 or 3 matches within those segments, but it didn't happen. And that's what I'm saying. When you see something this big, it's like in anything, if the NFL was to fall apart or the NBA was to fall apart, there would be others that would try to jump in, but it would never get to that level again because all the parties involved would be like, hey, this big conglomerate of companies got together and they tried it for decades. And if they couldn't keep it alive, there's no way we're going to go down that path again. Not on that level. And so I think this would be horrible. It would be absolutely horrible for the business. I hope this never happens. And yeah, I don't even want to think about it. Let's go to the last question. How dare you bring that up? Now I'm not going to be able to sleep. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for planting that seed in my head. You know all right, Dana, last question, because then we still got to do the previews. And that's it. And then people...
Okay. Making sure you're right. Well, a lovely segue. Ricochet is getting his own 365 special. Not even a trailer dropped, but he's getting it on Sunday. Yay. That it will premiere, as always, 10 a.m. on July the 5th, and that it will cover his debut from February 2019 to February 2020, where you can now find him on the main one?
Main event.
Main event. So you can watch his rise and ultimate fall from WWE.
Are you kidding? Do you not see what they're going with this? Have you seen the pattern what they do with all of these? This is what they use to boost their talent. They'll do this special to see the reaction. And if people love it and start spreading it, and then they see that wrestle in a new light, and then they start spreading the buzz about it, and then that's how they boost it. I think that's why they're doing it, because they don't believe in it. Why spend the time and money in doing it?
And they're appeasing him by giving him a special, just like they tried to do with FTR. I forgot what they originally was called because they were forgettable in WWE.
Oh, we're gonna get
So remember, they kept trying to appease him. Here's more money. Here's more gimmicks, and he was just like, no.
But that was a different issue with this. That's a different issue. They didn't get this. We're talking about this type of solo special. I mean, think about it. If you were there and they said, hey, you're doing these jobs, but we're doing this special on the network. It's an hour long, and it's going to be about your career and your life. That's something, because there's guys in the back that are not getting that. Think about it. They don't like to waste money. Vince does not like to waste money on anything. This is all with intention. I'm telling you, we're going to learn some new info. I think.
No, here's the thing, because it's not like they started filming now. They begun filming for a whole year in 2019 when he actually was viewed very popular.
Yeah. So but that's what I'm saying.
That's fine, because he had that kind of cachet where it was like, yeah, let's give him a special. Everyone's going crazy over him, and then now look at him. He's on main event.
It's okay though, because I'll tell you why. Because this comes out, if people actually pay attention and watch, and if it's good, then they'll talk about it on social media, and they'll tell other people to go watch it. More people watch. Yeah, it'll be great if there was a live crowd, because then we can really tell that people are interested by the reactions when he comes out, if there's a larger pop and stuff. Now we have to really rely. We won't have that. Now we have to rely on social media and likes and dislikes and to see the numbers. And we know they follow that, just what I mentioned, that Lana, Rusev whole thing. The whole reason why Vince was giving so much time, and this is facts, and they even confirmed it, was because on YouTube that video had over 1 million views. So he's like, man, over 1 million people watch this segment. That means those people like this. So we're going to keep doing more of it.
I watch a lot of things on YouTube that I don't like.
But it's still, we know that even with advertisers, what do they go based off of? You can have 50 million subs, but if all your videos only have 1,000 views, you're shit. That's it.
Just a month ago, they did a special on the Hardys, and how did that turn out for them?
People loved it. That was special. They loved it.
They made it Hardy.
A special on the Hardys, and now Jeff Hardy is on a horrible feud with Sheamus.
What they did is disgusting. I am sick of it. Sorry.
I just gonna say, as far as this Ricochet thing goes, is I'm not gonna watch it because it's gonna depress me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Literally, nobody should watch it. He's on main event now. Let's look at a once great star, and now he's on a poopy show that literally less than nobody watch.
And I would like to make a comment to respond to what Adam said. If Ricochet is getting a push, it will be
out the door.
No, well, that eventually is coming. But if he's getting a push, it's going to be going after the tag titles, because Ricochet was on a podcast this week on the WWE show. I forget the name of the show. Yeah, where he said that him and Cedric, his goal is to go after the tag titles. So this guy, as far as his singles career in WWE, I don't see them doing anything else with this guy.
We'll see. No, we'll see. I put him in the Dolph Ziggler category. That's where I put him, because I think when it comes down to if he does plan to leave, and it's very possible, he knows he's valuable. Any promotion would gladly have a Ricochet, and he knows this, and they know this, and we see WWE's pattern. When it gets to that point, what do? They break out all the rainbows and the sunshine, and like, oh, here we go. We're gonna make you glow, buddy, and that's what they do. And that time will come. I don't know when his contract ends.
I would say they definitely value Dolph Ziggler more than him, because Dolph Ziggler has gotten multiple world title shots without even earning a world title shot.
But I always do, it's always toward some kind of contract timing or something. That's always when these things pop up for Dolph. It never fails. There's always something going on, and he doesn't like to do long-term deals because I think he sees the pattern. So he's like, you know what? I'll just keep doing this, and he's getting paid very well. I don't know how much. I don't know how much Ricochet is getting, but I'm sure he's making a good living, especially now in the current situations of the world. It's still, it sucks with the whole thing, but it's not diminishing his salary in any way. Does it suck he's on main event? Yeah, I'm sure it does. But does it change his bank account? No.
Well, I would say it sucks even more if he isn't the main event on main event.
Of
if
course.
He's like opening
that too. But again, they don't know anything. And this was the fear that we had, and anyone listening, we had this discussion way back when he got called up. How are they going to use him? Because we know how Vince is with these smaller, lighter weight guys that like to flip-flop all over the place. He doesn't respect them. It's all about the big masses. That's why Elias, who did absolutely nothing in NXT, got called up so fast and was thrown on the main roster. That's why Baron Corbin, who also really didn't do much in NXT, got called up right away. Poof, there you go. Why? Because they're big men. He sees these big men, and he's like, oh, that's what he wants. Those are quality guys. Doesn't matter. So, we had this fear, and the fear is coming true. So this is it, and this whole tag team, people are like, oh, why are they doing that? This isn't different from what he did with Aleister Black when they first introduced him to the main roster. Wasn't a tag team form. Remember with Black. Yeah. So now they just say, you know what? We don't know what to do with him right now, so we'll put him in a tag team.
And by the way, that was a far better tag team than this tag team with Cedric Alexander.
Because there was a contrast. Right, there were two different types. Both of them are pretty much the same.
Yeah.
They're both high flyers, and they're doing that whole thing. And I put them in my mind when I saw them as a tag team. I saw it as like London and Kendrick when they had a tag team. That's what I saw it as. I was like, it's like one of those. Mm-hmm. So I see it as it's a holding point. Whenever I see these single wrestlers get bunched together in a tag team, we saw this with Sheamus and Cesaro, and I always feel like this is a holding point. They don't know what to do. Or with the B team, remember the B team? Same thing. Don't know what to do. All right, we're going to be a tag team. And I wouldn't be surprised if they talked about it in the back and say, hey, can we be a tag team? Sure, we have nothing else to do. All right, yeah, go ahead, be a tag team. Because then at least they both get TV time, and they're both together, and then they could do feuds with other tag teams, as opposed to doing solo things.
It's kind of a smart thing for them to do, considering how poor the tag division is.
Yeah. Because the Sheamus and Cesaro, they were traveling together, and they asked about it. I think that's how that whole thing happened. I definitely know that's how it happened with for Bo Dallas and this dude, Mr. Perfect son. Shit, I'm blanking on his name.
Curtis Axel.
Yeah, Curtis Axel. That was the whole thing. They were always hanging out in the back, and they're like, shoot, we want to be a team. Or even with Breeze and Fandango. Same thing.
That furthers the point of what FTR was making when they were saying they don't breed tag teams. They just throw people together.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. That's a valid statement, and there's proof. Like they say, the proof is in the pudding. We're seeing the pudding in front of us. This is it. These are all put together tag teams. There's very few just dedicated tag teams. And that's the sad thing, and for people that like myself and others that watch WWE product, whenever you see a legit tag team, you automatically assume they're going to break up at some point. You don't say, wow, for the entire career, they're going to be a tag team. I never felt that for any tag team. I always feel they're all going to break up. I feel like the last time I felt the tag team was going to stay together forever, it's got to be maybe, I got to go way back now, probably Demolition. Or something like that.
Warrior for me. I didn't.
Yeah, there you go. And then, it's some of the Road Wars, but definitely not even the Hardys because I saw how much they favored Jeff. I knew they were going to separate them and make him a star. So
no, the Booker T and his. No, that's not.
No, that didn't happen. That didn't happen.
That's not.
Because remember, they only picked up Booker. They didn't pick up Ray. All right, so I guess that's it. That's it. Anybody else got something to say? So we could jump right into this Fyter Fest because this. Boom! That was the signal.
I think Dana had something else to say.
Oh, Dana, what else you got to say?
No, I don't have anything else to say aside from Heath Ledger. Yay! Not Heath Ledger. Heath Slater.
There you go, Heath Ledger. Yay! That's really morbid of you. How dare you?
Terrible.
How dare you?
Slater and
All
his.
right. There we go. No more. We won't review anymore. Okay, here we go. Fyter Fest, Night 2, July 8th, TNT. Go watch it. Maybe. Who knows? We'll find out. Real quick, you guys enjoyed Night 1? Okay, I take it. No one liked it. All right, you liked it. All right, you liked it. No. Okay.
I like shows, actually.
Yeah, both shows were solid. I enjoyed it.
And let me go ahead and give a spoiler right now. Fyter Fest Night 2, it might be good, but all of my attention will be on that NXT main event between Keith Lee and Adam Cole. So I'm gonna just say that right now. Okay. But I will still give my predictions.
All right.
I can make a prediction for that one. That's for sure.
Yeah. I gotta say, out of all the predictions that I have for Fyter Fest Night 1, I got them all right except one, and that was for that the tag team belt. I really thought that Kenny Omega and Adam Page were gonna drop it to Best Friends, and that was it.
Nope.
It didn't happen. It really didn't happen.
No.
All right. Well, with that said, there's a great segue because the first match that we're putting this in, this is their 6 matches, and that is with Kenny Omega and Adam Page defending that title versus Private Party. And I think, Matt Hardy is going to be with them, right? That's still he's still accompanying them. I don't know.
He is.
He's not their manager. He's I don't know what his role is. I don't know what he's doing, but I guess he's just a buddy who's coming for moral support. I don't know, but he's there. So this is for the tag belts. Again, I'll just jump off quick so that way you guys can jump in. I think somebody's got to take this. I think it'll be Private Party. We talked about it. Private Party's up and coming. They're trying to put a lot of attention on them. It just makes sense at this point. I know, Dana, how you feel about Kenny Omega and Adam, and we know they're friends and blah, 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 blah. That's great. But if I go back to the logic of what title belts are supposed to do, and they're supposed to put a spotlight on a wrestler or tag team wrestling that needs to get that attention that they feel is worth putting that attention on and bringing in more viewers and attention, then that's what you do. And if they're pushing Private Party like the way they have been with these segments and with Matt Hardy, they're really trying to get eyeballs on this tag team. Putting the gold on them definitely does that. Everybody knows Adam Page and Kenny Omega. They're solid tag team and single performers. So it's okay. They're established. Now it's Private Party's turn. So I just say Private Party. All right, Rich, you can go. What do you think?
All right. Well, my pick is Kenny Omega and Adam Page.
That was the wrong answer.
Because
Richie,
what?
I said that was the wrong
answer.
No.
Well, we'll see what happened. But again, I recall last week I asked the three of you a very simple question. is the Best Friends a popular team? Are they over? And I say yes. Okay, so that team should win, right? So, and that didn't happen.
That didn't happen. That was upsetting.
So I mean, I personally think I would love to see Private Party win, but I don't know if Private Party needs to win right now. I mean, that's a team that from the very beginning they was in that tournament. They had an opportunity to win, and they didn't win at that point. So I don't know if now is all of a sudden it's time to give them the belts. But I'm going to say Kenny Omega and Adam Page, because I think that breakup is coming, but I don't think it's going to happen yet. And even after they lose the belts, I don't think it's going to happen right away. This is something that's going to build up over time, like I said on the last week's show. But that's my pick.
Okay. Dana? All right. That's a tough one, too. All right. Ricky?
She's muted.
Yeah, I'm tired of. I think I'm going to just stop betting against Kenny Omega and Adam Page when it comes to these title defenses. I'm thinking at any moment now they're going to drop it and they're going to start having a little that friction again. And time again, they continue winning. There's a lot of great competition in that division, Private Party included, but I don't think it's their time. So I'm going to say Kenny Omega and Hangman retain the belts.
Okay. Dana? Dana's still muted? I think she's still muted, right? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she's having some issues. All right, but yep, Private Party. My issue with this is if you're going to promote Private Party the way they have been pushing them up and coming, doing the Matt Hardy, all that stuff. There has to be an angle, and to have them just lose, and it most likely be a clean loss to Kenny Omega and Adam, like the best friends. What was the point of it? What was the end goal? It didn't do much. What to say? Hey, you made it to the top, and now you got to work all the way up again and see what happens. No, it's discouraging. There's got to be something to it, and I think we'll see them win, and something will happen, and that'll lead to the feud with Kenny Omega and Adam Page. Maybe Omega gets pinned. Maybe they go the route of like, oh, he accidentally hit Kenny with the buckshot or something. You know, that's usually the typical tropes that lead into a feud or a tag team breaking up. And they've hinted, like you said, they've hinted at it in the past that it's possible that it could happen. And I think we will see that. So, all right. So there goes that. The next match isn't. Oh, well, there you're back. I called on you twice. Yeah. I wasn't sure. All right. So what's your
my internet connection? It's rough down here.
That is true. That's true. 4th of July.
Here's the thing. I don't understand Matt Hardy's purpose. And it confused me during Fyter Fest when we saw him with Santana and Ortiz. Because remember, if you go back to Stadium Stampede, they tried to drown him.
Yeah, they tried to kill him.
They tried to actually kill this man. So I don't understand why he is now partnering with them and with Private Party. It's a very weird thing, and I don't know what they're trying to do with that. Unless this is another evolution to Matt Hardy.
I think it's going to be another personality, and he's going to bounce around. That's what I think they're going to go with, and we're going to see him playing both sides of the fence. Okay, we're going to see all kinds of them.
Kind of mentor manager for all, I guess.
Something. I think they're going to do something. Whatever it is, it's going on in Matt's head, and I'm sure he's working it out. Who knows? Maybe he may cost Private Party the match. Maybe they would get close to winning, and he'll do something, or maybe not. Maybe he'll help them. Who knows? So who do you think is going to win this one?
I don't know. I'm still waiting for Vanguard to pop up. That would be nice.
It's destroyed. It's gone.
You can have they had another one. They had to clone, remember?
But it wasn't, didn't he give it a different name?
You can have another one.
I thought, but he didn't call it Vanguard. I thought he called
it. He didn't call it Vanguard. He called it something else.
Yeah, it was something else. Vanguard is dead, though.
Yeah, Vanguard is dead. Rest in peace.
So who do you think is going to win?
In regards to this, I really feel that it's going to be Private Party for the simple fact that we kind of saw this match already. So it doesn't really make any sense to kind of have another repeat of it. I don't know why
they're going to get it. Yeah, unless they're going to get it this time.
Unless they're going to get it. And I'm cool with that because like you said, hands. So they don't need belts to begin with, just like Cody doesn't need a belt.
No.
Or a majority of the people don't need a belt. So I'm good with Private Party winning.
Mm-hmm. All right. Private Party. That's what we hope for. At least some of us. All right. All right. The next one. Match number 5. 8-man tag team. Sounds like a lot of people. I don't know about this. But we got FTR, the Young Bucks, and they are going against the Butcher and the Blade and the Lucha Bros, which I haven't seen in a while. It's been a while with the Lucha Bros. I really thought in fact, now I think about it, last time I saw Phoenix was when he took that horrible back body drop off the top. Oh man, that where no one caught him. Remember when he did that flip to the outside of the ring and he just went from, that looks very brutal. And I know they said he was hurt, but I guess he's okay now, because he's back and he's taken some bad bumps in his career. I'll wait to read that book, or maybe he'll get a documentary series or something. Because man, I've seen some horrible accidents in regards to these flips, and no one catching him. So
he only goes one speed.
That's true. That is true. That is true. So there's a lot going on here. I think this is heavy in story. And for people that don't know, there is a lot of story here with FTR and the Bucks. And I personally never saw this as a dream match, but some people I guess did. And so they're trying to say that this could lead to it. Yes, they're now on the same team, the Bucks and FTR, but a lot of people want to see them go at it. And then right now they're going against the Butcher and Blade, don't even care. And the Lucha Bros, fine. But this is not really where I want to see them. I want to see them just going in that direction of the titles again. That was fine. But this whole thing, it doesn't do much for me. Because I feel that the real focus is on FTR and the Bucks. And to see how they implode. Something's going to happen. Right? Someone's going to hit somebody. And I think that's what's going to happen. Someone's going to hit. And before I give my predictions, we'll just bounce around. So, Ricky, what do you think of this match? And who do you think is going to win?
I agree that the focus is definitely going to be on FTR and the Young Bucks, where it's like FTR trying to play nice, but they're still kind of like putting the Young Bucks and everyone else on notice that, hey, they're here to kind of take over the division. It would seem that it would, like, the obvious thing would be to have them lose to the Butcher and the Blade and Lucha Brothers and have like a little, face off after the match, angry and things like that. But I think they're gonna try to draw this out a little longer. So my feeling is that they'll tease some tension between the Young Bucks and FTR, but I think that they'll still find a way to win, and you'll still see more of that friction as time goes on. But I don't think they're gonna give it away just yet. So I'm gonna say FTR and Young Bucks win this.
Okay. FTR. Yeah. All right. Richard?
Okay. No disrespect. I don't give a damn about the Butcher and the Blade.
And most people don't. It's okay. Most people
So I definitely agree with what Ricky had to say. FTR and Young Bucks, I do not believe that they will lose this match. And of course, they can have tension in the match and still get the job done. But yeah, they're going to drag this out a little bit longer. But yeah, FTR and Young Bucks definitely going to win this.
Okay, all right, Dana.
First of all, I like Mario and Luigi after they have the fire flower. That was a Butcher. No. It's a Butcher and the Blade because they look like Mario and Luigi, and then they dress in all white. So the fire flower from the game? No.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, womp. Here's the thing. They're gonna draw out the FTR versus the Young Bucks. Period. So I say the Butcher and the Blade is gonna win.
Butcher and Blade and Lucha Bros. All right, Tina. Real quick, can you jump out and jump back in? It got all digital. All right, but she said her piece. She said it. She thinks the Butcher and the Blade and Lucha. And I know what? I'll agree with that. I agree with that. I think they're gonna win. I think we're gonna see some kind of issues with FTR and the Bucks. They're not gonna be able to work as a tag team. Well, or both tag teams aren't gonna be able to work together. Something's gonna happen, and that's what people want to see, and that's what they think people want to see at least. So I think that's what's gonna happen. All right. So the next one, and then this one is another one. There's another tag team. It's a 6-man tag team. Match number 4, Colt Cabana with the Dark Order going against SoCal Uncensored. This one, I'm up in the air with the whole thing with what's going on with Colt Cabana.
See, you need to watch the Elite series, and then they explain everything.
All right, so you can start it off. What do you think is going on with this?
Okay, so it's very simple and it's very hilarious, but you need to watch it. The Dark Order is basically trying to recruit everyone that they can.
Yeah, all right, I got that one.
So we got that part. Right. And so they're going after those that's considered the weakest ones of AEW that aren't getting any wins. And they're trying to, get them to join and say you can win. Mm-hmm. Brody Lee is taking Colt Cabana under his wing, as we've seen what's going on. With this, I strongly feel that the Dark Order and Colt Cabana needs to win, or else it just doesn't make any sense. Because they're trying to recruit him and saying, look, you can be a winner with us. So they have to win in order to further this storyline. There's also a side story that involves Hangman Adam Page. But for this main focus, this is what needs to happen.
Okay. All right. That's one take on it. I'll jump in with, I think there's going to be a twist. I agree they are trying to recruit, but I think Colt's not going to go for it, but Christopher Daniels is. And he's going to swerve Kazarian and Scorpio Sky. And that's what's going to happen, and he's going to leave that group, and he's going to join the Dark Order.
But he can't be left out in the cold because there's literally nothing going on. And I think the fact that his persona is corny is...
But it's over. We all know it's corny. He knows it's corny, but it's over. People love him.
People, maybe a person.
I don't know. Those podcast numbers, they'll say something different, man. He's got a lot of people. That
you can like Colt Cabana, the podcaster.
But they respect him, and because of that, they support him as right. He's open. He's in a lot of spots. I think I even say I wouldn't put it past him. I think he's in AEW because of his accomplishments outside of the ring.
Or that he had such a really tragic incident with CM Punk.
I don't think that's enough. I don't think it's a sympathy thing.
Here's the thing. He needs something. He needs a gimmick, and this is the actual gimmick that works for him. And it makes him, he can be extra corny, and he can be a winner with this group and still go boom, boom.
I don't know. So you can't see that, let's say if we go with my prediction and Christopher Daniels actually double crosses the rest of the members of SoCal and then he bounces. You can't see Colt filling that spot and joining SoCal Uncensored?
No.
Okay.
Because I think that he's gravitating more towards someone who is of a bigger figure, and that is Brody Lee. It defeats the whole purpose. I mean, I don't know.
It's a swerve because remember that, for you guys to remember, for a long time, it was hinted that Christopher Daniels was going to be part of the Dark Order. Remember when he would come down with the hood and do the whole thing? And they were like, oh, yeah, he's definitely going to be, he's double-crossing them and the whole thing. And then they squashed it. But this could be a double swerve. Here we go, because nobody would see it coming. Everybody's seeing the obvious, which would be Colt Cabana joins up.
So then why can't he join up and we can also get a swerve?
It's just too many people. If they add him in and we get Daniels. So Colt joins and Daniels joins, that's too much.
Well, nobody's really paying attention to the other little ones, the minions.
Well, yeah, but they're still there. We got, because this one, it's going to be Brody Lee is playing, is also wrestling in this one, and Stu Grayson. Those are the two Dark Order members that are going to be teaming with Colt in this one. So that's the main group out of the Dark Order, at least the main figures. So if they want to have another main figure, definitely Christopher Daniels would be one, and they need somebody that's also good on the mic. Christopher Daniels and Colt's fine, but Christopher Daniels, I think it's up there. He can do some really good promos, and he's been a heel before. He's comfortable in that role. Cole Cabana, he's tried little heelish things in some promotions, but he's still a babyface. Everybody still sees him as Colt. Most of his movesets are babyface moves. So.
Okay.
All right, Rich. What about you? Is this your match of the night? Is this what you're looking forward to?
No, actually, it is not.
Okay.
On paper, to me, this looks like a very predictable match, like some of the other ones that I will get into a little bit later. But
so you think we're looking too much into this? That none of those swerves and nothing's going to happen in this?
I mean, if Christopher Daniels turns, that'll be great. That'll be something different. That like you said, it was teased earlier, and when there finally is a payoff. But for me personally, I think it's very simple because I go back to the fact when Brody Lee had his war with Jon Moxley, and even though he lost that match and was still impressive, you cannot have this guy come in there getting a world title match, and you're going to have him lose another match at the next big event like this. There's no way in hell that they're going to have him lose again. So I think it's pretty obvious Dark Order is going to win, and they're going to continue to recruit people. Whether or not Colt Cabana joins or Christopher Daniels joins, doesn't matter. I think Dark Order is winning this match regardless, because you're not going to put Brody Lee as the leader of the group and have him lose another match again. Just like that. So I think Dark Order is definitely winning.
All right. Well, here's something else I was thinking. What if we don't know? We don't know the politics. What if they feel the Brody Lee thing as a leader isn't working, and that's why it's not getting over? What if they say we do need another mouthpiece, someone else that can take over on that level? Christopher Daniels is awesome on the mic when it comes to giving promos. I could definitely see him filling that spot. That'll be excellent. Hey, listen, this is now you're getting into some excellent ideas, excellent writing. Because just think about it, like right now, from what we've seen, Dark Order, they've been there since day one. But with Brody Lee, do you see them any different now that he's here and he is the leader?
Well, I must admit, when he first joined and they first revealed that was him, I said, "Oh, okay, I would definitely keep my eye on the Dark Order." Then when he took that loss, I said, "All right, I guess it is or whatever. It's whatever." Because again,
like the Killer Hawk guy, yeah, okay,
we'll get into him later on. But I mean, obviously, when you when you elevate someone to that status and you're putting them in a major match after the fact, I think perception changes a little bit after that. It doesn't matter that he lost to Moxley, because he still looks strong in it. But again, if you want to establish him as this is a leader of a group, I still think you still lose something from the character after taking a loss like that. Mm-hmm. So you can't have this guy continue losing big high-profile matches. And this match is still important because they're trying to recruit somebody. So I say they're definitely going to win. But that's a great point you made about later on them questioning if he is a good enough leader. So I hope they do go in that direction.
What about you, Ricky? What do you think?
Man, I'm very fascinated by that theory of maybe having Crystal Daniels do the turn. It's something I hadn't even thought about ever since they ended that, teasing that before. Like having like Colt Cabana join SCU. I was thinking like, well, Colt Cabana's from Chicago. But the thing is that Christopher Daniels has never lived a day in his life west of the Mississippi. So being part of Southern California is not a requisite for being in the. So that's fascinating to me. I'm gonna agree with Rich that like the Dark Order needs a win. Because I'm just gonna say right now, when Brody Lee was when he was introduced as the leader, I was like, okay, that's cool. I thought it was going to be either him or maybe Lance Archer or Matt Hardy, and it turned out to be Brody. I'm like, all right, good. Now he's going to have a chance to shine. Mm-hmm. But the Dark Order have become a comedy act. I'm just going to say I do not take them seriously. And now, granted, they were a little goofy at the beginning, as it were. But I was like, okay, maybe they're building up towards something great here. And it's just kind of fallen flat for me. Like it seems like, and maybe this is the whole point, but I feel like the Dark Order is like a parody of these like corporate ministry type of stables that we've seen before and things like that.
But even those would dominate, and they would
absolutely.
win, and that's not been the case for the Dark Order.
It has not been the case, and they need a win in a very, very major way. So I feel like, that we're gonna see Dark Order win, but will Colt Cabana become Cult Cabana? I don't think so. I think he's going to stay a babyface.
Yeah.
If Daniels turns, that would and helps the Dark Order win, man, that'd be the only thing that would save that match for me. To be honest, is the heel turn. But otherwise, I just don't care about the match. But I'll say that Dark Order gets a much needed win here.
All right. Well, yeah. I think we all agree on that. So we will see. For me, this is one of my star matches that I'm curious about, just because of all the other aspects that we mentioned about the swerve and the switch and this and that. I hope, remember, they are seeing this as a pay-per-view, and usually these type of big changes happen at a pay-per-view. Well, this is what they say. At Fyter Fest Night 2, this is a big event. This is not a regular Dynamite. So if there's any time to pull any of these swerves or initiations or whatever, it would be at this event. So I think we'll see it. Next, match number 3. I don't know, I looked a few places. It looks like it's still the same case. Nyla Rose versus to be announced. Do we know? Is this an open challenge? Do we know?
Wait, hold on a second. Is that a new wrestler in AEW to be announced?
That would be a good TBA. Why not? I would go.
EA versus Vacant for the title.
There we go. Well, there you go. Versus Vacant. I mean, there's no title. Obviously, she doesn't have a title. I don't understand. She has a match, or she wants a match. I saw on the first night, Friday Fest, they showed the picture of her and they talked a little bit, but then they moved on. They didn't really focus on it. So is this like an open challenge?
Yes.
That's what this is? It's just an open challenge?
Yes.
All right. So under that logic, it would be a new face that shows up. That's usually how it works, right? The open challenge.
Nope.
All right. Nope. You're shooting it down, Dana. All right. So go first. What's going on with this?
It could be a returning wrestler.
But who's returning? We know that Dr. Britt Baker, she's still hurt. She's going to be out for a while.
She's out for a while, but I still like what they're doing with her.
Do you think Big Swole?
It could be Big Swole. Even though they've been kind of teasing things with Britt Baker, but she can't do anything.
Yeah.
So it could be Big Swole.
Stratlander?
No, she's out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see her coming back.
A serious injury.
Serious injury.
Nyla Rose had already beaten Big Swole recently.
Okay, all right. So that's what I'm saying. So everything is pointing that usually, especially at a pay-per-view event, this is supposed to be a surprise.
It's Tessa Blanchard.
Tessa Blanchard, right? That's a big swerve this whole time.
Yep.
This is such a blizzard.
And her dad walks her down. So.
Oh gosh.
Awesome Kong.
Awesome.
Yep.
She's back.
You haven't seen her in ages.
Well, because she was filming. She was doing the rest of the filming for her show. Glow. But I think they're done. Who knows?
There's no Glow.
There's one more season of Glow.
When you got that glow.
Yeah, there's one more season of Glow. I don't know the status of the production. I'm assuming it's on hold, or maybe it already finished. Maybe they finished filming. Don't know. But I know there is one last season of Glow, and that's it.
There's no Glow.
What do you mean there's no Glow?
There's no more Glow.
There is. There's one more season of Glow. It's not over. One more season. Have you watched Glow?
Yes.
That didn't sound truthful. Tell me the truth right now.
I have watched parts of Glow.
Okay.
There's a lot to go through with the Glow.
Well, there is, just so you know, I've watched it all, and they left a lot of cliffhangers, and then they confirmed one more season. That's it. Next season, last season. So, I don't know if they filmed it or not, but I know that she was gone for promotions and other things she had to do for that. That's what they said, too. The AEW. They said she's still part of it. She's got other things that she's doing, though. So, yeah, there you go. And they took her off when they got rid of that whole weird, creepy thing that Brandy had. The night when they killed that, they were like, all right, well, you got to let that stink disappear from everybody involved.
There's the Nightmare Sisters.
Yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, why not? I'll go with that. I'll say Nyla Rose versus Awesome Kong. Awesome Kong kicks her ass. There you go. All right, Ricky, you go with this one. What do you think? Who's the TBA?
I'm hoping it's Awesome Kong. But I'm afraid that it might not be. I'm not sure who it will be in that case. I don't know. Wasn't there someone that they had just recently signed? Like, what's her name? She has like a very creepy gimmick.
Oh, Abandon.
Yeah. Abandon or whatever. That could be the mystery opponent here.
Yeah,
I like her.
Okay, we'll go with that.
That'll be my guess because I want Awesome Kong, but I don't think it's gonna be Awesome Kong. But,
right. So, but you're saying if it is that person goes over and wins this match?
Well, usually when there's a mystery opponent, the mystery opponent goes over.
Yeah,
but
unless it's Lucha Underground, then they don't do that. I remember there was this one guy, I forgot what his name was. He was a very popular Mexican wrestler, and they kept teasing somebody, and he showed up in his first match, and he got beat. He lost. So I'm like, oh, that's a nice swerve, because I didn't see that. Usually when you hype up a guy and he shows up, he wins his first match. And it was a clean loss. All right, so keep it. So you think whoever comes in is going to win? Nyla Rose.
Yeah, I'll just say TBA wins.
Oh, whoa.
Whoever it is.
Woo.
Okay. Richard, this is it. Your match of the night. Who do you think?
Yeah, when right before Ricky had said Awesome Kong, I thought to myself, yeah, that'll be excellent. I hope I get to say that before someone else says it. So I'm glad that we were thinking alike. I'm gonna just say right now, if Awesome Kong comes out, that will definitely be one of the most talked about things on this card, if that happens, because everybody was looking forward to seeing what she can do in AEW, and I feel up to this point we still haven't seen her do that much. So I would love to see that, but on the chance that it is not her, it might be too soon for the new person, Abandon, to be in that type of a match, because I thought Abandon was a heel, but then again, I don't really know what they're doing with that character yet.
I don't know what Abandon is.
I have no idea, but this is what I say. While it would be great for the unannounced person to win, I'm just going to say Nyla Rose, because I don't know who the unannounced person is. Yes, if it's Awesome Kong, great, but I want that to be a feud. I don't want that to be one match and then it's over between them. I want that to be an actual feud. So for now, I'm going to say Nyla Rose is my pick, whoever the hell it is that she faces. But then again, we'll see who they actually choose for her to face.
All right. Well, we'll see. I think that one could be interesting. Just because it's always interesting whenever there's a surprise, right? We all love surprises. Those are always fun. All right. Match number 2. This is a singles match. Our favorite, Lance Archer with Jake Roberts versus Joey Janela. This is sad. This is sad.
Well, why?
Sad because
why is it sad?
It's sad because we saw the push that they were giving Lance. We saw how he was wrecking shop. Hell, Colt Cabana and all the other ones. He was destroying people. Okay? He goes up within that tournament. He goes up against Cody. He loses. Now he's going against Joey Janela. Joey Janela, quality wrestler, performer, but no way in hell you're going to have Lance Archer lose to Joey Janela. It's not happening. Okay. This is going to be a brutal beating. Because if there's one thing that we all know about Joey knows how to bump. He bumps hard. He makes everything look super painful, and he does it well. And I think this is what this match is going to be known for, and this is why they booked it. It's going to be Lance so pissed because of everything that's happened, he's going to have to unleash his fury on Joey. But the thing that throws me off is just a singles match. So there's no, this is a false count anywhere, this is a hardcore, none of that. It's just a singles match. But I think it's going to be an ass whooping. That's my opinion, so I'm just going first with this. Lance Archer, if he doesn't win, he is at the bottom of the barrel. There's no way. Like we always talk about it, especially, and people are like, oh, what do you mean? AEW is all about the win-loss. They are focused on it on their website. Those numbers count. They always mention it in every show. He loses this, he's all the way at the bottom. You don't go to be a number one contender, you get a title fight like he did with Cody and lose, and then your next match against Joey Janela and you lose that one too? Are you kidding me? Not happening. Not happening. So I think because they put Joey in there, and like I said, Joey knows how to take a lot of crazy bumps. This will be a fun match to watch. Painful for Joey. Lance Archer wins. Boom. Smashes him. That's it. My pick. Dana, go.
Dana is confused by this whole situation. And what Dana does is she watches AEW Dark. And Dana is still confused by this whole situation. I don't understand the feud that's going on between these two.
No feud. They're just trying to build up something, but there's no one sees it.
I don't understand the build up, because if this is geared towards Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss, I still again just don't understand. They had that great vignette with them at the grocery store, and then it just seemed like Archer was just angry and just started attacking everyone for no reason.
Yeah, he's angry because of what happened with Cody. He's
pissed. But like, I don't understand why you would put your attention on them unless it's like some underdog story where I'm randomly getting my behind beat and I have to beat the big bully.
Mm-hmm. And then here's the other thing. This is heel versus heel. Joey's a heel.
Joey's not coming across as a heel because those promos were not heel.
They're trying to make it seem that way because they're trying to do a switch, because obviously this is what you do, right? You have to have a heel and babyface, but it's going to be hard. It's going to take longer than the time that they're giving to push this in another direction.
This, I think that they did this too quickly. I don't understand what is going on. I'm lost.
It's just putting people on the card and I think filling.
Okay, we're going to be WWE then. Okay.
Yeah.
So, in that regards, it seems that Joey Janela's been getting his behind beat, and he has got to win something, because it's just not, I don't understand. If it's just a straight up regular match, then Archer should win, but it seems like they're continuing this.
I don't think so. No, it's going to be an ass whooping. That's it. It's not. I don't see it. I don't see this going anywhere. Where's it going to go? Where they're going to go in and do a whole legit feud? You can't do that. He is supposed to be this monster, Lance Archer. Monsters don't leave people to come back to fight another day.
He's picking on like the little guy.
The little guy, but this is the roster that they have at hand. This is what we were talking about. You're talking about little guy, but this is what they have. And so everybody is going to get a match. This is it. And he's available, and this is the match.
It'll be a very fun match. I expect Sonny Kiss to get involved. It'll be very athletic, because that's the one thing you can say is that Sonny Kiss is very athletic.
Yeah, that's true. You think, all right, if that happens, if they get involved, okay.
Yeah, it'll be fun, but Lance Archer is going to destroy the man.
There you go. Lance is going to win. The Killer Hawk, right? That's the tagline. Killer Hawk.
They did. That's
all right.
Win.
There you go. You don't get that and start losing matches. You're not killing anybody. All right, there you go. Richard, what do you got?
So, okay, I'm going to try to keep this brief, but I have to say this. No offense to anybody that likes AEW, but this is a perfect example of why there's certain matches on this card I look at and I'm like, why would I even bother watching the match? Now, I already said before, I'm not really happy with what they have done to Lance Archer, but the suspension of disbelief that they want viewers to believe that Joey Janela actually has a chance of winning this match, they must think the fans are absolutely stupid. If any fan thinks that this guy has a chance of winning. Now, I will say this. From the minute that AEW has started, Joey Janela has been presented. He's a good wrestler, but he has been presented as a comedy act. He has had good matches, but he continues to lose. So just like in the WWE logic, where you have a wrestler like Dolph Ziggler and you put him in a title match against Drew McIntyre, you think he's actually going to win that match? There ain't no chance in hell that he's going to win that match. Just like in this case, no, Joey Janela is not going to win because Lance Archer is a monster. This is the guy that they're getting behind, the guy that they have given the push to. And again, I don't agree with what happened with him and Cody in that match. That could have been a feud that could have extended out further. But now they have to do something else with this guy. That's fine. But I will say this. If you want to give me a better matchup for Lance Archer, I'm pretty sure if you put Lance Archer in a match against Luchasaurus, that would have been a far better and more compelling matchup for me to watch instead of watching this match. Because Luchasaurus is also a pretty big guy as well. But, yeah, in my opinion, it's pretty obvious Lance Archer will destroy Joey Janela. Yeah, I guess that's what they want us to watch and just be entertained with that beatdown. But I mean, Lance Archer deserves a hell of a lot more than what he's getting as far as an opponent goes in this particular match. That's just my opinion.
All right. Yep. All right, Ricky.
Yep. So, don't forget that Sonny Kiss will probably be involved in this match, which will make it closer than you would expect. I mean, on paper, it looks like a straight-up squash. But I think it's going to be closer than people realize. That having been said, if anything other than a Lance Archer victory happens, then they're doing a disservice to all the build-up that they did of Lance Archer up to this point. I just want to run down real quickly Joey Janela's history in AEW as a one-on-one competitor. He has wins against Brandon Cutler, Sean Spears, Ray Phoenix, QT Marshall, and Kip Sabian. That's it. He's lost to John Moxley 3 times, lost to Cody twice, lost to MJF, lost to Kenny Omega. He's had a loss to Sean Spears also, and Kip Sabian. So more often than not, he loses, especially the bigger profile wrestlers he loses to. Ray Phoenix is the best one that he's beaten by far. But the odds are not on Janela's side here. And I'll be shocked if anything other than a Lance Archer victory happens. So I'm going to go with the murder hawk here.
See, and this is what we're talking about. There's always going to be people that have to be at the bottom of a barrel. That's it. In any promotion, that's just the way it is. And he's definitely one of those wrestlers here. Now, he's fortunate enough to know that there's not such a deep roster like WWE. So he is on this card. But if this was WWE, he probably wouldn't be on this card.
Yeah.
There would be somebody else, that's taking the fall. And some people maybe think that's better. But then again, Joey Janela is on the card. He actually has a match. And it's one of the main matches on here because of the opponent that he's going against.
And Adam, to make your point, like, Janela is fantastic at selling,
Yeah.
Yeah, and he does some crazy bumps, like you said. And so you can always expect that in his matches. And, he's going to make Lance Archer look like $1 million. Mm-hmm. And hopefully, Archer will do likewise and not bury him too hard. But, we'll see what happens.
Yep. All right. So this leads us to the main event. And this is, some people are like, what is it? No, I think this is going to be fun. I think this was booked to be fun. Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy. It's a singles match. Man, let's start with Richard. Richard, go ahead with this. What do you think was going to happen with this? And how do you feel about this match?
I have a very controversial answer for this one.
Do it. Bring it.
All right. Chris Jericho, with the help of the Inner Circle, is going to win this match.
So he's going to need the help of the Inner Circle.
Well, listen. Chris Jericho, obviously, this guy doesn't need to win. I mean, I believe if there's anybody that wants to get others over, it is Chris Jericho. I mean, but the position that he is in as the person who is a high-profile person at AEW, in the simple fact that he lost the match against Moxley. He's lost matches before. I don't see him, losing this match. Now, obviously, the reason why I say Inner Circle is because, listen, these other guys, I mean, they are going to be available to interfere if they need to interfere because some of them have already had their matches, and some of them didn't even have a match on this card. So even though Sammy is not there, You still have, Santana and Ortiz that will be available. You still have Jack Swagger that will be available. So if they need to interfere, they can. But I think Chris Jericho, obviously, they're going to make his opponent look strong. There's no doubt about that. They're gonna make him put on. He's Orange Cassidy is going to put on a good show. But I think at the end of the day, Chris Jericho is probably going to be the one that wins the match. That's just my opinion. I would love to be wrong, but that's just my opinion.
Hager suspended.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, remember they did that whole thing where he was pissed with the outcome versus Cody, and so he hit the ref, and so he got suspended with a $10,000 fine or something like that.
Oh. Yeah, it's like a 10-day suspension.
Yeah, 10 days. They're trying to write him out that he's not going to be part of this. So.
Wow. Interesting.
But there's still other members that are of the Inner Circle. We could see what's his name, Sammy Guevara, come back from his suspension. We could.
He can't. That's too soon.
Yeah, all right. So if not, then we could see Ortiz and Santana. They can play a part in this. They're still around.
Or Hardy.
There you go. Or Hardy. He could flip it. All right. So Ricky, what do you think? Do you agree with Rich over here with Jericho getting the win?
I see Rich's point, but I'm going to say that Orange Cassidy wins in an upset. I think that there's a reason why. I mean, apart from obviously the AEW title match being put on the back burner for another week, there's a reason why Jericho versus Cassidy is likely going to close out. You're going to close out the last match. This will probably be the last match in Fyter Fest. You got to close it out with a bang, and I see that yes, the Inner Circle will get involved, but I think the Best Friends will get involved as well and help out with that. And I think that, and it wouldn't be the first time that Jericho has allowed himself to have someone else to go over. Like he's in a Dynamite. He had Jungle Boy did that stipulation where he had to last for like 5 minutes or whatever it was.
A 10-minute match. Yeah, he could last 10 minutes with me. Yeah.
And he got all pissed off because he allowed Jungle Boy to win the stipulation. I think that, I mean, you could say that this would bury Jericho, this would bury the Inner Circle and all that because Orange Cassidy is a comedy act. But this is a way of telling people that, Cassidy, he's a better wrestler than you might realize. And that it would be an exciting, think of it this way. Remember, I don't know if you remember, was it 1, 2, 3 Kid when he was the Lightning Kid or whatever, and he upset Razor Ramon, and it was a huge deal. Like, oh my God, no one saw that happening when it did. It could be something like they're trying to go with something like that, where it's like people are gonna write off Orange Cassidy because he's just a joke, and at the end, Jericho will just do what he does and win. I don't know. I'm setting myself up for disappointment, but I'm gonna say that Freshly Squeezed gets the upset.
Can I make a quick comment and then you can continue because I definitely want to hear what you and Dana have to say. Mm-hmm. Is Mike Tyson still involved with AEW? Because I know that people want to see Mike Tyson and Chris Jericho actually have a fight.
He's still involved. There's we don't know if he's going to be present here. There's no reason for him, but
so that is something that I would throw in as an asterisk because if Mike Tyson is involved and in some way assures that Jericho loses, that sets up a match between him and Jericho. So I will have to see about that. But I like those good points, mate.
That's a really good thing. I mean, I was thinking about the Best Friends, but Tyson could get involved as well, and he could be the difference. That's interesting.
All right. I'll jump in on this. So here, this is some facts. Out of all the new talent that we've been introduced to AEW, there's only one talent that's really gotten over, whether it's with the fans or just with social media and the amount of views, and that's Cassidy. He has captured the attention of the casual, and we saw this when he had that match versus Pac. That match versus Pac got millions of views online, everywhere. People were talking. They could not believe that this match with this wrestler with his hands in his pocket and all the things that he was pulling off, that just for some reason that match took off. People were just amazed. And that became a meme, and that was spread everywhere. There was outlets that don't even cover wrestling that were like, you have to see this to believe it. I don't know why, but it did. It spread like crazy because we've seen Cassidy do this for years. I mean, he's done it. That's what brought him to AEW. This is his gimmick. But that match really caught the attention, and that match is the reason why he's in this position with Jericho, because of that attention. And now they're going to say, all right, he caught that attention then with Pac. Now he's going to have it with Jericho, who also gathers a good amount of attention. This is going to put that spit shine on Cassidy. Cassidy's winning this, and I think it's going to be a clean finish. I think he's going to pull up all his craziness, and it's going to work in his favor. And it's going to be all the over-aggression that Jericho is going to push out, which is going to be his downfall. We saw it in the first night of Fyter Fest where the Cassidy shows up and he's just sitting there and he puts his legs up on the table, and then Jericho's just irate. You know, how dare you? You come over here, disrespect me, put your chair, your legs up, and just acting like nothing, and you're the Mr. Man and the whole thing. And then when at the end, and Cassidy goes to walk away. And what happens? It's just like a scene from a club where one guy decides, I'm not going to fight, and he walks. The other guy, the aggressor, lunges. Once he puts his hand on him, the bouncers and everyone rush him, and the same thing happened here. Once he put his hands on Cassidy, that was it. You got all these refs and all these other people to jump in and start grabbing Jericho and trying to control him, and Cassidy just keeps walking out the door. So I think that's going to play into it. It's all mind games. And this is the ultimate mind game, and that's how Jericho is selling it. That Cassidy somehow has gotten into his head and has messed him up. He's no longer the cool, collect Jericho. Yeah, I can beat anybody. This and this and that. I am the El Champion type. He's now furious, and he's gonna get sloppy. And I think that's what's gonna happen. He's gonna get sloppy, and that's what's gonna cost him. And Cassidy's gonna win, but he's gonna pull out all the stops. All his traditional hand in pockets and then moving all around and the kicks and all that stuff. And he probably is going to throw in a few new tricks up his sleeve that he has that people haven't seen. And we're going to see that here because it is a high-profile match with Jericho. And I think they're hoping it's like catching lightning in a bottle again, like what happened with Pac. If this can happen with Pac, then it could definitely happen with Jericho because it is Chris Jericho. And this will be the highlight of the event. So Orange Cassidy wins. Dana?
Yay me. I can't explain why, but I really love Orange Cassidy and the whole, basically the laziness of everything. It makes no sense, but it's just perfect and genius. And you have the over-the-top nature of Jericho with this complete laid-backness of Orange Cassidy, that they find this perfect balance. And even from when you saw on Fyter Fest, as you were saying from last week, and how that was just hilarious. And it was a small moment. I'm not sure if many people caught it. Orange Cassidy cracked, and he started laughing at one point, and he had to fix his face. But this either way, I think the fans are just going to be the winners. Period. But Orange Cassidy is going to win, and it's going to just be him literally doing nothing and Jericho throwing such a huge fit that either, it becomes a DQ or he's thrown out, Aubrey gets involved again, and he's going to lose. But this either way is going to be incredibly fun. And I feel that it's going to be like Stadium Stampede level of fun. And Jericho is going to try everything he can to get this man to break, and he's not going to break. And you're going to have the whole hands in the pockets and the leg
sunglasses
taps. And then the sunglasses, the leg taps. And the same thing that we've seen. But it's just because of Jericho, it's going to work. And we've seen it with wrestlers who we wouldn't normally think would allow it to work. It's like what you said with Pac. you wouldn't think that it would work, but it worked.
Yeah, people loved it. They
And
loved it.
And he's like a really serious, straight, wrestler guy. And here's other stuff that he did, I think, in MLW that isn't supposed to work, but it works. Or whatever he was belonged to back then. But it worked. And it's hilarious. So either way, the fans are winning. But Jericho's gonna win.
CZW, yep, there,
yeah.
So you think Cassidy wins?
Cassidy has to. He just literally won't do anything. And that's great. Yeah. And Jericho. Sorry.
No. Just to go on your point, you're right. And Jericho doesn't get anything out of this. He does. If he wins, he wins. What's the point? He's also not champion, so it's not like he has to win. There's nothing for him, but there's everything for Cassidy.
Yep.
And they talk about wanting to push their new stars and do that whole thing. Well, Cassidy's more over out of all of them, even more than Darby Allin.
Oh, he's over the whole
because he's so unique. There is no other wrestler anywhere like him. Not even in this promotion, any promotion. No one has a wrestler like Cassidy. So it's just that alone gets a lot of attention. So I definitely see it. I think we all pretty much see that.
I just want to add that Jericho is just an absolute delight in commentary. He had such great energy at this past Fyter Fest, and I hope that when he does retire and doesn't wrestle anymore, that he does commentary. That's just great.
That'd be nice. I don't see him ever retiring. I don't know, something about the way he carries himself with all of this with wrestling. So he feels like he can do this forever. And if you ever listen to this podcast, he always makes it seem like, no, this is it. This is it. It's either wrestling or no wrestling, or being around the business. Then he'll just fade out into the sunset. Because that's the other thing. It's probably painful for a lot of wrestlers, and we see it. That's why so many of these guys are coming back, even with concussions and all that other issues. Because it's hard to talk about something on the sidelines in the past tense without getting that urge to do it again. It's like, man, I have to do it again. We see it with Jerry King Lawler. We see it with almost every wrestler that says they're retired. When they do commentary, they end up coming back. It's very, very hard because it's in your face. It's like taunting you. It's like, oh, you can do this. Don't you want this? Oh, look at this guy's wrestling style. That definitely would work with your style. You could have some amazing matches. So, I don't know. Yeah, but it'd be cool. It'd be cool if it happened. All right, everybody. There you go. That is Fyter Fest Night 2, July 8th, TNT. Watch it. There's some good matches. Either way, it's free. It's fun. Watch wrestling because a lot of people have stopped watching wrestling altogether. Don't be that guy or girl. Just do it. Just watch it. Support it for the next generation. Because if you don't, it'll be gone. Just like the Carney life. All right. So I'll just give a quick outro of myself and then I'll pass it around. Everybody, thanks for listening to this. Go ahead. Go to the Koalition.com. Check out all the great content we have there. There's plenty of great reviews for games, movies, TVs, interviews, all kinds of stuff going on there. So check that out. Give a shout out. Next you go. Ricky, got anything you want to say?
Yeah, just a shout out to all the Koalition supporters, viewers. Check out the site, check out social media. Keep supporting us. And like I said at the beginning, have a happy and safe 4th of July.
Okay. All right, Rich.
Yes, shout out to Dana, Adam, Ricky, and everybody on the Koalition staff. I hope everybody has a great 4th of July weekend. Definitely check out Fyter Fest Night 2 next week so that you can tell me about it, because I will be watching NXT,
Damn.
The Great American Bash.
Ooh.
Main event. Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. But yes, enjoy wrestling, yes.
All right, Dana.
So shady. Thank you to everyone who is listening and supports us, and happy holiday.
There you go. That's right. Happy holiday. Don't blow up your fingers with M80s. Eat a lot of food, and just keep watching wrestling. All right, everybody. Have a good weekend. Peace.